We'll have
Pounding on the desk?
it's coming.
All right. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority, August 16, 2021, at 7:26 p.m. in the evening. Do you believe that? Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dillbeck.
Here.
Hahn.
Here.
Color.
Here.
Stroller.
Here. I do declare a quorum. Even though it's not on the agenda, I am going to make a special exception and ask for an invocation. Josh?
Let's pray. God, we thank you for having the opportunity to serve our community. We ask that you be with us, that you guide us in such a way that honors all of our residents, in such a way that honors you in the same process. We ask that you be with us and continue to guide us. In your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. The consent agenda. I know it's kind of special also. There's 3 items tonight.
I'd like to remove item C for discussion, please.
You bet.
Second.
Can we get a motion to approve A and B?
Motion to approve A and B.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dillbeck.
Yes.
Hahn.
Yes.
Color.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. All right, item 2, consider item removed from the consent agenda.
Okay, so we approved $26,000 for this transformer. And they took ownership. I want to make sure I have it right in my head so I understand how we got into this position. So with the understanding that it was going to be 100% paid for by Green Farms, correct? Okay, and we held on to that because of taxes, right? How much were the taxes?
Let me, can I explain
Yes,
it and then you
yes,
can ask
please,
your,
that'd be
then you
great.
can ask your
Okay.
questions. Yeah, Green Farms is going out into the Crow property and they needed this special kind of transformer. And at that time, although we didn't have a written policy on it, we began to charge folks, particularly folks, weed, marijuana oil. We have no idea how long they'll stay, how long it'll be. Will we ever be able to recoup those dollars? We said to Green Farm, if you want it, you buy it. Okay, or you reimburse us.
Okay.
So we bought it and they reimbursed us. Okay, so we're now down to, a net zero. Now, there was the issue about the sales tax, although it was, if you want the transformer, because they went out of business and they have filed bankruptcy/receivership. Okay, and at the time when they were leaving, they were, hey, we paid for that transformer. We'll pull up the truck. Please put it on the truck. And Wheatley said, well, what do we do? And I said, well, I need to look at it. Don't put it on the truck. Don't take it out there. We need to look at this. Well, I kind of analyzed the whole thing. I'm all about rules and following rules. We didn't have a rule where we set out that, new businesses had to pay these upfront costs. We do now. Okay, we do now. And it's a part, and if we buy it for you and it's to be a part of the system, it doesn't matter. But we didn't have that rule in place at that time. So they made, the claim, look, we bought it, give it to us, and then it slid into a receivership bankruptcy. And I haven't read all the pages yet, but we have a major law firm that is representing the assignee of Green Farms in a proceeding, and they said, hey, we would like our money back. We'd like our money back. And I said, no. We have costs in this. We're not sure what we can do with this, when we would use it again. Okay, so I provided for a 30% discount. under this price. Now, I think, and I don't know that it's finalized, I think it might be finalized with respect to another community. I didn't know at the time because I had told Green Farms that we may not have a use for a long time or may not have a sale, for a long time where we could sell it. But I think Brian Wheatley has said that he's got a party that he can sell it to, and we're going to make back our money and some. And some. So, of course, that's not done until it's done, and that's part of the risk. So what I did is I negotiated that 30% discount. They agreed. We corresponded back and forth. I prepared a bill of sale, which they're going to, deed it to us. It's got the serial number on the back of it that Brian Wheatley took a picture. And so we're going to have ownership of that. And then we're going to take care, of selling that. And of course, they have no ownership of it, so there's no sales tax issue. They're just getting paid back a portion of their money, and we move forward. So that's what that is. But I'm here to tell you that it won't be a loss to the city. It'll be a gain. So.
Well, that makes me feel better, but I still want to know how we got into the situation. So as I read through it, it sounded to me like we kind of held on to it until the taxes were going to get paid. Is that
No.
did I read that wrong?
Well, if they were going to buy it, okay, if they wanted it, then taxes need to be paid on that sale.
I agree with that, but
Yeah.
what I'm asking is, did we not know that before we invoiced them for the $26,000? Because they did pay the $26,000, right?
Because we bought it and it becomes a part of our system, we're exempt from those sales tax. There was no
Understood.
sales tax immediately due. It was only if they were going to take possession of it, then we wanted to make sure that sales tax were paid on that, because you can't buy there was a guy that tried to use buying Harley Davidsons, and that's the best example, right?
Yes.
Up in Pawnee, and he was buying Harley Davidsons for himself and using the city sales tax number for that thing. You can't do that. If it's going to go to a private party, you have to have sales tax paid. So that just became a little issue. But because that never occurred and they never bought it from us, that's not an issue anymore.
And if I may, when we made this transaction, they knew exactly what they were gonna do. We've been working on this for months. They knew exactly what they were gonna do. And then a couple of months later, they decided, well, maybe we're not. So then the characteristic of the transaction changed.
Okay.
Luckily, we got paid, and they didn't default in that meantime. Now, that will not happen again, because we have the rule in place. So if you want that transformer, you're going to pay us before we ever purchase
order
it.
it and-
Yes,
okay.
and then that transformer, whether you start your business or not, becomes part of our system.
And then we maintain it.
Yeah, we maintain it, because really what happens is they buy the first one, and then we buy the replacement one. That's really what the policy is.
Okay.
But that wasn't in effect at that time, and it just, if push comes to shove, this is the proper way to do it. Everybody comes out with something, and we don't take it in the chin, which I would refuse to allow that to happen.
Okay, good, because I had concerns about that.
Yeah.
Like if we had put it on their truck and we got to this point and they decided not to do it, then at that point, that transformer is their property and they would have to dispose of it. And instead, since they didn't take ownership, it is now our duty to get
Brand
that
new
back.
weapons.
Is that correct? I just want to make sure I'm hearing it
Well,
correctly.
Well, since we're getting title to it, we're either going to use it or sell it. And I believe we're going to sell it. And we're going to make back what we're paying plus a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, plus a bunch. Okay?
So we'll at least get the whole 26 back?
Maybe, yeah, and maybe more. Yeah. Understand, this is a specialized transformer, so you gotta find the specialized person that does it. But transformers are 3 to 4 months out. You can't just order up a transformer. I mean, they have to make them now, just like they have to make chips for cars and all that. We're in kind of, well, it's kind of all that way unless they have it on the floor, but nobody has transformers like this on the floor, so I think it's gonna go to a nice home.
Okay.
Are you satisfied?
Yes, is everyone else?
You make a motion to approve that then?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve that. Item C on the consent agenda, for what we removed. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Gilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Collar,
Yes.
Straw.
Yes. Thank you. Item, comments from those assembled pertaining to items on the PMA agenda this evening. Hearing none, item 5, proclamation, accommodations, reports, required by the governing body. Hearing none, any new business that needs to come before the authority? No? Motion on adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Gilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Collar,
Yes.
Straw.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the City Council of the City of Perry, August 16th, 2021, at 7:37. Roll call, please.
Wines,
Here.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Here.
Bell,
Here.
Brown. Here. Gilbeck,
Here.
Vaughn,
Here.
Collar,
Here.
Straw.
Here, thank you. Item number 1 is the consent agenda.
I make a motion to accept this consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Gilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Collar,
Yes.
Straw.
Yes, thank you. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to items on the city agenda this evening. Ms. Wallace?
I'm hearing about the drainage. Do you have any information? I was supposed to come today. Bryce asked me to come back. On any of the drainage from the engineering that were supposed to be here?
Yes, I think that would be sent to Larry. Larry, have you gotten that?
On the 6th of August, I had a conference call with our engineer, and he says that he will be here on Tuesday, September 7th, to present 3 options.
Thought Dixie told me that you were supposed to meet with him on Friday when she called and that you would have something this week for city council and to show up. Is that not what you said when you called?
No, that isn't what I said, because Larry was out sick, and so at Bryce's request, I called the engineer and asked, and that's what Keith told me, was he was gonna have the meeting with Larry. It must have been a call, not a meeting.
It was a call.
So, you know, he may use the term,
Yeah.
looks like meeting, and that's the last information I had, and that's what I relayed to you.
You keep waiting for engineerings, but nothing has changed. I know we wait. You've been telling me wait for engineering since October 19th, when you sent me the first engineering report. That's the communication I get with you. You're the city manager. Is that not your job? You have been making smart comments about my drainage, like the one about the dirt, about didn't I get it fixed, when you have been getting these drainage reports from the engineering since then, and I'm still waiting. Every rain, it happens. Every single one, we're still waiting. 3 options. All right, so come back in 2 weeks.
I don't do their job. I don't know how to do their job.
You don't do your job.
Thank you, I appreciate that. However, on Tuesday night, September 7th, I'm told they will be here.
Okay,
I'm not gonna go up to Kansas City, or to Wichita, Kansas, and bring them down here. I present what I'm told. I have nothing, I don't say anything.
okay, until we wait,
You're welcome
we have to
to be
finish.
that night.
Okay, we have to figure out then other plans, so when it rains, that we can do things like, we've done sandbags, and then this last year, I was told if we have enough sandbags, I can bring them, but we don't have very many sandbags. See, I have tried everything with you, from filling up my own sandbags, from keeping them, to dragging them out myself, to pulling them back myself, to digging the ditch myself. Do you understand? I've done things myself. You
we have
keep
done-
telling me you can't do anything.
And we have helped you as well. We brought sandbags to you.
And you drop them off at like 7. Have you seen the flood? We're gonna have to sandbag the whole front of my house. That water inundates from every single corner. Larry, I don't have a chance, but you have come by my house like maybe twice.
I think you're more than that, but go ahead. Here, Tuesday night, September 7th.
You guys don't have a meeting on Tuesdays?
Labor Day,
It's Labor Day.
Monday.
So we
I'm
don't
sorry,
Sorry,
sorry.
sorry.
Okay, we'll try this again. I need help. You need, I haven't even got dirt. You haven't even brought any dirt. You made a smart comment about the dirt, but you know what the professional drain person that came, that saved my house from completely flooding. That little bit of dirt that you made the smart remark about was the smartest thing that I have done. Now I gotta spend all kinds of money putting my own drains in while I wait for you. Just like I had to do when it was Gordon Johnson. I waited for you. You lost all the pictures. You lost everything. Yes, I'm angry. Do your job. How many years have we done this? That's why I want to get you in front of everybody else, because you're not going to embarrass me and put me down
Well,
anymore.
you've been here, okay, thank you.
I have to be here.
We'll see you on Tuesday night.
Yes, sir, you will. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Debbie. Anything else? Item 5, proclamations, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Item 6, the city manager report.
We just went over one of my points. I passed out hard copies to you for the planning session. These are ideas that we've gotten from department heads, from past budgets, and I look forward to hearing what you have to add as well. Our planning session is the 23rd. Heritage Center will be 12 to 4. I'm looking forward to that.
Are these listed in any priority, in order of a priority?
The first sheet is listed by category, and then page 5 on back is by department. They're not listed by priority.
It's not a priority list,
No.
1 through 50 or something?
No, no.
Okay.
I didn't want to, I would like to hear from what y'all think is. That's it, sir.
Anything, nothing else?
Nothing else.
I would, while we're talking about the meeting, what was as far as the responses, as far as how long? I'm just worried we're not gonna get through everything in a short amount of time.
The majority of the responses was an afternoon. You know, we gave morning, all day, or afternoon, and most of them were afternoon.
Once we get into that, if we decide we needed more time, we could schedule
We can do
another
that.
meeting, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I personally won't be at the meeting. I have a medical procedure that day, so I can't be there. But I have faith in the rest of y'all to take care of business.
I think it's gonna be a great meeting, really do. And appreciate, again, hearing from all of you.
Anything else? Thank you, Derek, I appreciate that comment. Item 7, Chief Financial Officer's report.
Guys, I want to hit just a couple of highlights. We're just getting into this fiscal year. So talking about trends, talking about those things really probably isn't what I can tell you after 1 month of activity. A couple of big things. Census Reports came out this month. We did get the new numbers. Bryce kind of alluded to it just a second ago. The population for the city of Perry did fall below 5,000. Matter of fact, we're down to 4,484 people is our official census that we run inside the city limits. So I just thought I'd bring that up. 2010, we were at 5123. So in the last decade, we've lost about 750 people in the community. That just kind of a reference point, because it's always good to know and to talk about those. The projected numbers kept us above 5,000. So if we would have looked at what the census was projecting, we would not have fallen below the 5,000. But we did. That a lot of that, guys, comes from responses. I sat back and looked at some of the communities that, and again, we haven't had time to fully divest all of the info, but the responses and people based on the demographics. We've seen certain communities just spotlighting some of them based on their demographics. Parts didn't reply. It was in the middle of COVID. There's a bunch of things going on. In the census that we have to live with the results for the next 10 years, but it's something that is down, and it's not encouraging from that standpoint. Looking at, now I will give you something encouraging on this report. We collected all of our hotel motel tax for the first time in I can't tell you how many months from all of the vendors, and a back payment. So that's why you see hotel motel tax at $31,000 for the month, which was effectively this is July deposits for activity that happened in June. And there could be expected. The ballparks and the weekends and those kind of things help a lot in that situation. Now I'm going to revert that now to something that I don't like to see, and that being the fact that our sales tax for the month is going to be the lowest sales tax that we've seen, except for 1 month in the last trailing 14 months. So that's I've got dichotomies. If I could tell you the trend line on why all of these things fit together and how it made the perfect story, I'd love to. But I've got stuff going all over as far as this is good, this is bad. We average it all out. Here's the good news for what you can see in the financials. We made money last month. We made the level of money that we would expect to make, especially in our utilities during the summer month. Okay, that's what you need to hear. The rest of it, I'm giving you a lot of one-offs and a lot of this piece and that piece, but that's really the part you need to hear. Derek, for you, swimming pool, year to date through July, we've lost about $24,000 if you take just these summer months. That's the number that I had ready for you. Are there other questions? And I didn't mean to single you out. That was your item that you wanted, and so that's what I was giving you. So I made sure we had that.
When you said sales tax,
Yes.
were you lumping use into that
No.
total?
No,
So
just
use
sales
is still up.
Use is up, yes.
I mean,
Use
it
is up
looks like
about
it,
3%.
But I didn't know
Yes.
about this month, year
Yeah.
over year.
Even the money that we got deposited in August will be up. Yes,
Okay.
we are up almost 3% in use tax on the year. So, yes,
And this month though too.
this month also.
Yeah.
Yes, it was actually 3% in July and 3% in August.
Okay.
So we got 2 3s.
So you're strictly talking about sales.
I am strictly talking about sales tax.
Just wanna make sure.
Which, like I said, with hotel motel up as much as it was, $30,000 in hotel motel, that's honestly $30,000 in sales tax, well, it'll be about $24,000 in sales tax for us. I was expecting sales tax to be up, in this deposit, but we're down in the 170 number. And we only had 2 other months that were 178,000 in 2020.
Do those delayed payments not?
No, that's what I'm factoring in. The June sales tax is what's deposited in August. June June hotel motel is processed in July. So what you're seeing here, and I'm telling you, 31,000 is, both of them are June to June. I did keep June and June on top of each other. I have to look at different reporting months so that I can tell you exactly what those numbers are.
Meredith did not bring bad news when she came.
Yeah, that's why I was just gonna say, I'm glad you brought that up, Jamie.
So I'm the best sales tax we've ever had. Is that what you want?
Maybe she doesn't bring
All right.
bad news.
Okay, I'll send, you know what, just for you, I'll send Meredith next month.
She doesn't single me out either.
Man, it sounds like I'm getting fired tonight. Woo!
It's not on the agenda.
I mean,
Oh, my goodness, hey, still getting one on the agenda, at least take one more job.
Come back next meeting.
No, I'm sending Meredith on the 7th, that's for sure. Well, let me tell you, she'll be here on the 7th.
I mean, I kind of like you. You're kind of nice.
Well, you're going off the council, what good's that
I
gonna do
mean,
me?
it's gonna be what it is.
Oh, okay,
Say nice things.
sorry.
All right, any more discussion on the financial report?
It was longer than I intended, by the way.
It's all right. Item 8, consider items pertaining to zoning and planning.
Sorry.
Come on, man, gather it up. Item 8, receive recommendation from the Perry Planning Commission on preliminary plat review filed by Jimbo Carnan and KMR Development LLC, the participant, for proposed wood addition, take action as deemed appropriate. So they did, we were all here, we all heard what their recommendation was. So, do we approve what they recommended, or what would the council like to do?
So, quick question, point of order. Do we have to do each
Yes,
ordinance separately?
Yes.
yes.
Okay,
On this item A, we're just gonna.
On this one, if you like what the planning commission did, you would accept and approve their recommendation.
And their recommendation was to approve as the plat is, but change the C1 to RG.
correct. That's,
Wasn't the other one back to an R1 also, person?
Well, I don't even know now. Is the plat had that one area that we changed to R1, was it RG on the plat?
Yeah, as far as the residential recommendation, that didn't change, but it did change from the initial initial,
Yes.
I don't know how to word that.
Yeah.
But yes.
It was
So,
fine.
And then I do, just lumping in all of this, with that change, there will be some affected costs in the sewer and things. So I want everybody aware, what did you say, about 200 or 300 feet?
As long as that lot was, general.
Well, it's 248, but it's probably going to be, because you have setbacks, 180 feet of sewer.
180? So that's in addition to what we had talked about previously.
15,000 probably. In sewer. I'm just throwing it out, I mean.
We have a motion?
again, point of order, the motion would be, if one chose to say so, that we approve the preliminary plat proposed by the planning commission this evening.
Yes, and
Because
and
we
if
can't
you
do
want,
the personal until we get to it.
yeah, but, you know, the use that's proposed there was a commercial use. It was this storage facility.
Right.
And that is going to look like the senior housing RG. And so, you know, it's approved the recommendation and approved the preliminary plat, provided the area on the plat, which was to be used for storage,
Right.
will now be used for senior housing.
So moved.
Can we, just to make sure, the number, does that increase the number of senior living
Yes.
by
Yeah.
how many?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
I'd have to lay it
All
out.
right, okay. So, but it does not change any of the duplex.
I can tell you, if you just do 150 feet,
You talked about,
5 to 7, 8 units, somewhere in there.
at some point you mentioned something about flopping or something, so I just wanted to make sure the duplex will stay the same.
You're not changing duplex.
It's just addition of,
Where the storage unit would be, we would enter, the duplex would be, or the senior living would be facing east.
okay,
The back of them would be facing George's house to the west. So you would enter in the doors that way. So it's approximately 248 feet, and that's from curb to curb. So you have setbacks in there, you have other things that go along with that. So then our units are 30 foot wide. So it depends on if you build a 3-plex, 6-plex, 8-plex, whatever you build, every unit you're going to get in there.
okay.
And what we'll do is have you make that change, and then we'll,
Right.
and then we'll have it
Derek,
signed.
would you pull that podium over? I can't
Right.
see.
Right.
I don't see anyone else speaking. Thank you.
We'll lay that out from a design standpoint, because we gotta see what we can do to sewer. I mean, there's a few little minor things we have to do. We looked at this real quick. We're a 2-foot difference on elevation, so we can make up 2 feet pretty easy on this size of development.
Okay.
Still a motion on the floor.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Dillbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Collier.
Yes.
Stroll.
Yes, thank you. Item B, review recommendation from the Perry Planning Commission on the rezoning request pursuant to the application of Jimbo, how do you say your last name, Carnley? Carnley, of KMR Development LLC, applicant for the proposed Woods addition. So this would be reviewing the recommendation by the Perry Planning Commission. Is there any questions about what we've been talking about this evening or in the last meeting? Or
We reviewed it earlier.
there's always one more review somewhere.
Derek finalized it for me.
And just as I go saying it, so oh, I got one question, which is fine.
One more question.
One more.
One more.
So y'all feel comfortable with what's been recommended? All right. Item C, consider approval of ordinance number 2021-11, amending the zoning on certain tracts of real property located within the city of Perry, Oklahoma, as set out as ordinance 2021-11 from the current agricultural zoning district, AG, to R1 Single Family Resident District, which real properties have a street address of 1100 and 1200 block of Locust Street, Perry, Oklahoma, savings, severability, repealing, declaring an emergency. So this will change the AG zoning to R1 zoning in that area.
And this was all the homes and the duplexes. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Dillbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Collier.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Motion on emergency?
Thank you,
Second.
Derek. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown. Dillbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Collier.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. D, consider approval of ordinance number 2021-12, amending the zoning for the certain tract of real property located within the city of Perry, Oklahoma, as set out in accordance with number 2021-12 from the current agricultural zoning district, AG, to RG residential district, in which real properties have a street address of 1100 and 1200 block of Locust Street, Perry, Oklahoma, savings, severability, repealer, and declaring an emergency. So this is the piece of property which will be the multi-family, correct?
RG is the
Yeah.
age appropriate.
Yeah, the I'm sorry, that's right, age appropriate.
Sorry, I'm running
Motion
back.
approved.
Hang on. Brenda.
Hang on just a second.
I don't motion yet.
I don't second yet.
Take that back.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, what, dinner or what?
Special meetings too long.
Okay, you make the motion?
Who seconded it?
I didn't.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Whites?
Yes.
Morrow?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Bell?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Dillbeck?
Yes.
Bond?
Yes.
Color?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes.
Motion on the emergency?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Wines?
Yes.
Morrow?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Bell?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Dillbeck?
Yes.
Bond?
Yes.
Color?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes. Okay, item E. Bryce, I want to ask a question before I read this.
Yes.
Do you want me to change that when I read this to R1
No,
or RG, or
no, read it.
read it as is, and
Read
then we'll
Read
amend
it
it?
as it is, and then we'll consider the amendment to it.
Okay, all right. Consider approval of ordinance number 2021-13, amending the zoning of a certain tract of real property located within the city of Perry, Oklahoma, as set out in ordinance number 2021-13 from the current agricultural zoning AG to C2 General Commercial District, which real property has a street address of 1100 and 1200 block of Locust Street, Perry, Oklahoma, saving severability, repealer, and declaring an emergency. All right, this is the piece of property that's in question. So I believe we came to an agreement in the planning commission that we would change this to a residential district.
It would be, if you want to make the change, there's only two little places we're going to change. We're going to remove the C2 General Commercial District up here in the title, and then down here to what it's rezoned. So instead of C2 General Commercial District, it'll be R-G Residential District in both places.
So, go ahead.
If he's gonna sell him 40 feet or 60 feet of that lot, do you wanna rezone the whole thing?
Yeah, at this point, we have this legal right here. If somebody wants to rezone it.
It would be
and-
the same.
It would be the same, yeah, it'll be the same as what he has.
No, it won't.
No,
That would be R1, it'd be R1,
Just
right.
because it'll go back to R1. Sorry, I just,
He'll have to file for rezoning.
Yeah, he'll have to rezone that.
We'll do a
into
lot
a sale.
all right, well,
And
I
do a
just,
lot split, yeah.
Good point.
we're gonna zone it RG and then it'll come back and we'll have to rezone it R1.
Yeah.
On that. Okay, just.
Thank you once again
Seriously, that was
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, thank
for,
you.
And that'll be easy to zone with George. We sell that little tract of land, because we will be selling, we won't be mowing.
There you go.
And if you can find 20 foot on the north, it'd make him really happy too, okay?
We're tight there.
All right, can someone make a motion, please?
I'm trying to think how I want to word that. The two little changes, as Bryce says. I'd like to make a motion that we change it to, we rezone and change it to RG in the locations necessary.
Second.
I was way too slow.
On the spot tonight.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines?
Yes.
Morrow?
Yes.
White?
Hungry.
Bell?
Yes.
Brown? Dillbeck?
Yes.
Bond?
Yes.
Color?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes.
Emergency.
There's not an emergency on this one. We were gonna table it. Oh, wait, there is two.
Yeah.
There is an emergency.
Motion
Go ahead, Derek.
emergency.
I'm sorry.
Second?
Wines?
Yes.
Morrow?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Bell?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Dillbeck?
Yes.
Bond?
Yes.
Color?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes. Thank you. I got to look at this here. I really like this. Whoever come up with that idea. highlighted it. Was that you?
That must have been Braxton. No,
I did.
That's what messed me up when it said table down here, see?
Yeah.
I wanted my motion to say something about amending the amending, because we just did that. But
I'll give you one chance and you screw it up. Okay, item 9. I'm glad we're past this, okay?
Me too.
Jimbo, go to work, right? All right.
That's hard.
Consider approval of a memorandum of understanding with Bird Rides Incorporated. Now, Mr. Brian Henry's not here. But the way I understand this, you know them little scooters you see around Stillwater and Oklahoma City? And they want to do that here.
Drag racing.
Yeah. So we're going to get that in your neighborhood, buddy, okay?
It's got an HOA, you gotta get permission
And
first.
he has.
We don't have Ubers, we got
he's
scooters,
got
buddy.
sidewalks, so that's,
So Bryce, you want to talk about this, or who, Larry, I don't know who's been talking to Brian about this?
I think Larry.
Do you know anything about it?
I was in a meeting. They want to bring, just like you see here, they want to bring 50 electric scooters to town. This is no cost to us. Bryce is, I believe, has looked at the legal part of it. Also, Mike Butler, who is the rep that we met with, is, I can get him on the phone if you would like. This is certainly one of the things that's coming, and I think that with quality of life that we've talked about before, even though I'm not getting on one, some people can.
I have at least 2 more questions on this one.
First.
So this is actually not part of that, but Mr. Butler, where's he out of?
California.
Is he out of, I saw the address was California, but I didn't know if he was physically located. Okay. As far as, well, no, that's the next item, I think, because that's the ordinance.
Okay.
Sorry.
So if this goes real good, be sure and tell Brian Henry we appreciate it. If it goes real bad, be sure and tell Brian Henry.
What's your opinion, chief? I reached out to the Weatherford Police Chief, which we can't compare Weatherford to Perry. They're 11,000, 17 with college. The chief said it's a big hit in their town. He said there were some businesses, which I can see happening here. People are just leaving them randomly in front of our banks or in front of a sandwich shop. The company can geo-safe to where they can shut that scooter off a block before that place where you can't park it there. I mean, it's all controlled through the company on where you can and cannot go boundaries. And I've played many golf courses. If you hit one way left and you're driving, your cart just stops saying, you can't go this way and you got to back up. So they'll all be programmed to where certain areas in town they can only go, otherwise they're going to stop. I thought for a while that you had to have a charging station, but while they're moving is when they're charging. One thing I did like, which we haven't talked to the company yet, Weatherford, their police actually have a card that can get on a scooter, and they check their downtown areas all the time on a scooter instead of being in a car and getting out checking doors, and they love that aspect of it. So I'm optimistic. I mean, things are changing fast as they are, and give it a shot. It's not costing us any money.
3 o'clock in the morning, the
Problems,
police
so
will be racing those things
take
down.
them
the
Is there an age requirement?
There is an age requirement. He did say 18 years old and above what they can do, but he also kind of threw now a parent can kind of help their kid, and there's a video I think you have to watch prior to
Right, there's a training.
getting on it.
Yeah.
There's a training deal. I thought my idea was maybe a kid in high school could get on one and go quick lunch and back. I thought it'd be a big hit too if they were out at our ballpark. Kid goes, Dad, let's go to McDonald's. They could jump on instead of taking a car and run to McDonald's and back, and they're gonna get usage on that end, but.
We're gonna run, I mean, if there's a sidewalk out there, we're gonna run it down our 55-mile-an-hour speed zone.
Well,
Well,
no, it
that's
can't be
on the-
on a street
Yeah,
with a,
exactly.
It's 35 right there.
30, I think.
yeah, well, it's 35, I guess, underneath the bypass until
Yeah.
you get to McDonald's, and it kicks up to 45.
Didn't
I
his
don't know
ordinance
why I
say
know that.
30?
30, yeah,
Yeah.
ordinance says
30,
30.
yeah.
Because it does, it's slower, but I don't know, I mean, I'm open to ideas, and you can't knock it till you try it, and it doesn't cost us anything. If it doesn't work, the company said, hey, we'll come pick them up, but at least gives the citizens a chance to, something new to try out and see if it does work.
That was my concern when I was reading it, that it was 18. And it seems like for
Yeah.
our age demographic, it would be better if it was that 16 versus
I
the
think
18.
that's, is that the company's rules? I mean, it's not, I don't know if we can change that or not.
According to the ordinance, there is no age limit, I believe, if I read that correctly, right?
Somewhere it said 18.
That may be
As
a
far as what we're
recommendation, they say
concerned.
18, who knows
Yeah,
if we
somewhere
can
I
switch
read
it to
18
16
today.
or whatever. I mean, you gotta be 14 to get a motorcycle
Well, you have to
license.
have, it probably has something to do with the credit card or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is the credit card portion of it, but it's, I thought in the ordinance that we had, we put,
That's right.
Yeah, there's actually two memorandum of understandings. If you go to tab 9, ignore the first one. That was the first draft, somehow it got in here.
Somewhere around 18.
The last three pages of that tab are the real ones. I mean, I wanted to have a better looking contract that was more detailed. And yes, there is a provision in there for 18. That was actually provision that they had asked for. That's actually number 6 of that document. And then you don't have to, but I thought it appropriate to have a ordinance governing it, because, you know, if you don't have an ordinance governing it, then, you know, it's difficult for the police chief to
Enforce it.
enforce anything. So that's why I brought it with the ordinance. So what you would be approving is these last 3 pages in this tab, and then we can look at the ordinance.
we can't really talk about the ordinance yet, though, right?
No, but, you know, if you wanted to move on and then come back, you know, you could. I kind of presented them as did I present them as one item?
It was 2.
As 2 items? I mean, if you wanted to move on, I don't want to restrict your ability to discuss this.
I was just gonna say, I read it as an age, but it just says they don't need a driver's license.
I just think that we need to prevent them from going down Fur Avenue.
And the ordinance
That'd be kinda
does,
dangerous, I
by the
think.
restriction on the 30 miles an hour, that's.
Well, you can drive 30 mile an hour down
Yeah, but it
It's
provides.
for the
posted.
maximum.
It's
Okay,
Yeah,
posted.
yeah, it's posted.
The whole way is posted 35, I believe,
Yeah.
at least, so they're prohibited, except for the sidewalk.
Yeah, you could run down the
Is
that
sidewalk.
what
I thought it said you can't ride on the
As long as you give
sidewalk.
pedestrians
No.
right away.
No, sidewalks are permitted.
Okay.
As long as you give pedestrians right away.
I mean, yeah, that's one of the, it's like a substitute for a bicycle. You
I
gotta
agree, I
get,
just thought it, somewhere I read it. I'm glad, because I'm like, we don't have very many sidewalks.
yeah.
Should we
And
wait
they
for
can't ride on the road, where are they supposed to ride?
to work all the time?
And Chief, you can let your officers at night, when they're downtown, they can ride these
Yeah.
while they're checking businesses and.
It'd be neat, I mean,
That'd be cool.
we usually park each side and they just go on a walk and they do that, but yeah, you can get on a scooter and shake doors and
They can get off.
so.
This is a trial for the company. I mean, they want to see how it works. They're willing to do a year of it and see how it works. I don't think we said it. They get some local businessman. That businessman goes out every day and kind of picks them up and resets them into proper places where they think they would be used. But it's really one-way transportation. I mean, you can make it 2-way if you want, but it's to go from point A to point B, and then you just drop it off.
So that hits on the point. My understanding is there isn't a charging station, but they take them home and charge them. Is that not what you?
No, they're pre-charged as they're driven. It's like a rotary type. It
Well,
charges the battery as it's kind of
that-
like your car and alternator, it just keeps.
If I remember
I'm not
right,
an engineer, but that goes against science.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
but there is somebody, when I was in the meeting with Larry.
There is a such thing as regenerative charging.
Yeah.
It just won't charge it to 100%.
They will have somebody here locally that will always be maintaining those cars, is what they said, or the scooters.
I agree with you, though. I think there's not a charging station. I think they take them to their homes, whoever they're paying, they take them to their homes and they charge them at their homes.
They may.
Yeah, that's what the bird man said.
Okay.
Who they're paying to maintain them?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that, now I may be wrong, but in Stillwater, I thought that they can ping those things and find out where they're at.
Oh, yeah.
And they had someone go around every night,
Yeah.
collect them all up, take them and replace batteries or
Rotate.
whatever they do, and put new ones out and get them back where they're supposed to be, and
Right, they'll rotate.
I bet that's what they do.
So, there is, last I knew, somebody from Perry that did that in Stillwater, so I don't know if they're
if
going,
it's the same guy,
They should do
same
it here
company.
I
too.
don't know, what company.
He's got a side gig. 50 more of them.
All right, do you want to approve the memorandum?
A motion that we approve the memorandum as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Weinstein,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Calderon.
Yes.
Yep, thank you. Item 10, consider approval of ordinance number 2021-15, amending the Perry Municipal Code 2020, Chapter 15, Traffic and Vehicle, Article 12 entitled Electric Scooter, providing for Section 15-1201 entitled Definition, providing for a definition of electric scooter, providing for Section 15-1202 entitled Restrictions on the Use of Electric Scooter, to limit its use on roads no greater than 30 miles an hour, providing for Section 15-1203 entitled Rules on the Road, providing for Section 15-1204 entitled Parking, providing for Section 15-1205 entitled Trail System and Sidewalks, providing for Section 15-1206 entitled Exemptions, providing for Section 15-1207 entitled Traffic Laws apply, providing for Section 1208, penalty violations of the chapter will carry a maximum fine of $100, providing for repealer, providing for savings clause, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an emergency. We're not paying you by the
I'm thinking.
section, are we?
I think it's the word.
It's a letter. That's why he's
course
entitled
you
in
are.
there like 12 times.
Well, he did cut us some slack, because earlier over here, it was really messing with my mind, because it never said providing for anything, it just said severability, codification. And over here now, we're providing for these things, so he cut us some slack in the other one.
Brian, does that mean they wouldn't be allowed to cross for Avenue if they use like the sidewalks, or I mean the crosswalks?
I don't see a problem with that. It's just gonna be geo-fenced to where they can't go east-west, I think, across.
They'd have to, well, they'd have to be
I
on the
wonder if they're on the
sidewalk.
sidewalk,
Yeah,
it will
crosswalk.
will actually know that they're on the sidewalk or the street.
If it's
Like
like,
GPS, I don't know how, that's just gonna be something we're all gonna learn when they get here.
yeah, if it's like a golf cart, to use his example, they'll have to get that correct, but it doesn't mean that you don't ping off the satellite incorrectly, or satellites, I should say, and then it shows that you're on the road and it stops you. You may have to pick up a scooter and move it, I guess, I don't know, but.
You can get, I mean, on our geofencing, you can get pretty exact. I mean, you can get to a yard, and if it comes off the construction yard, I mean, it's gonna shut it down, so, I mean, they'll have to just, I would imagine, zoom in real close and make sure they get it. Here's the sidewalk crossings that you can go
Yeah,
across.
and I guess kind of what I'm getting at is sometimes if you're sitting like at home and your phone shows that you're actually in your neighbor's yard,
Yeah.
that may happen with a scooter too, and you may
Yeah.
just have to pick it up and move it, I guess.
Maybe they just have to get pulled over.
I've often
sometimes.
wondered what happened if I picked one of those up, put it in my truck and drove over here and tried to ride it, but.
As well.
I think you have a whole lot more problems than you think, okay?
Leave it on, make it look like it's going 70. But-
Do we have to read all of this to approve it?
So, I did have a couple of questions on this one. In there, I believe it says something to the effect of, find it, one-way streets and four-lane roads, I believe, on the left. Do we actually need to include that since the only Where was that?
It's
What,
page
the-
2B.
Do we need to include the, it's 2 or more marked lanes? The highway portion, if we are eliminating it by the, speed limit?
Speed.
Well, the downtown is considered a highway,
Yeah.
like, because 77 and 64 both go around the square.
I read that as it was a 4-lane, but now that I see it again,
Yeah.
you're talking about 2 lanes, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. And then, on the helmet part, is that a state law, or is that?
No, it's yours, you know,
Okay.
if you don't wanna, you know, you don't have, I mean, I don't ride my motorcycle with one, well, sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't, you know? And rarely ever ride my motor scooter with one, but, you know, and quite frankly, you know, they're not gonna be hanging there off the bars.
Right.
You know, that's gonna be the issue.
Well, and that was kind of where I was coming from, is you
Who's
get to
gonna
a
have it?
business or something, you gotta figure out to what to do with it.
Yeah, but
or
but that's
you gotta
not the
have it
way-
with
Or,
you.
yeah, or if you just go downtown and hop a scooter.
It's
you
not
have
the
a
way
helmet.
it's gonna be used. Quite frankly, you know, we're a non-helmet state, you know, and I don't know that it works with, I think that's a good point. I don't
Yeah,
think it
me
works
too.
with this program. I think we should strike F.
Good job, Larry. Good catch.
Any further discussion?
Thought there was one more thing, but I can't remember it now.
Just one more.
Somebody else?
You didn't put your finger out, so we didn't know. One more.
I can't think of it.
Anyone want to make a motion striking the helmet provision?
So moved.
And that's otherwise approving the ordinance.
Yes.
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 Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Stillback,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Strong.
Yes. Motion on emergency, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown, Stillback,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Strong.
Yes. Thank you. Item 11, consider authorizing Cowan Engineering Group to solicit competitive quotes for the Fir and 15th sinkhole drainage construction project in an amount not to exceed $50,000 with additional payment for surveying, engineering, and construction administration service and to engineer as appropriate. Authorize approval of the contract to the lowest responsible bidder and authorize the mayor to sign. Okay, everybody knows where the hospital little center is there. It used to be Dr. Seal's office on 15th and Fir. If you remember right out in the middle of that parking lot, there was a giant sinkhole. Okay, they foot the bill to fix that, okay? Well, right to the southeast corner of that building now, and it's right up to the building. It's a drain pipe that runs from there, plumb down by the armory somewhere. And I think it's 60 inches, 5 foot around. So right up next to the building, that thing is caved in and it's bad. And so we are responsible for that. Stillwater footed the bill on the parking lot portion because that's their property when they replaced that. But so now it's caved in right beside their building. And Larry and I, and Critter and Vernon, and some of the Cowan folks were out there last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, looking at that. And that whole pipe all the way down through there, so it's been there so many years, it's just rusting out, caving in. So they've looked at this and we need to replace a portion of that pipe. I don't, you know how many feet, does it say how many feet? I mean,
60 feet.
I think that's what we talked about. because we, up next to that building, it's gonna start causing a lot of trouble if we don't get something done.
How many feet? 16 feet. What about the other 300 feet on down to the alley?
That's out in the middle of the yard, we don't care about that.
Until somebody falls in.
Yeah,
But it keeps falling in.
well, I realize that, but
Okay.
this is the pertinent situation right now. That would probably cost another $100,000 or $200,000 to do all that, so.
Well, the bid to go the whole length was 700,000, something like that. We thought we'd just go with this.
Okay.
Going out on a limb here.
I understand.
We're good with jumps.
So we're leaving it up to two different types of pipe. Is there any concerns about which one? Or
Are you on this job too?
But
Speak to your brother.
I think we had poly pipe in there,
Uh-huh.
and then, was it?
Corrugated.
corrugated? Yeah, corrugated steel, I believe.
Right, and I think we recommend poly at this time, because it typically lasts longer. I think we probably did the alternate, or the two different, to see what the price difference was in the two.
Okay.
And availability at this time as well.
Yeah.
What would you like to do, council?
Where will the money come from?
Drainage fund.
You're being singled out, Russ.
Meredith said
I thought I wasn't allowed to talk anymore.
We got,
No, we said you're allowed to talk.
Let me text
Oh.
Meredith.
He just like Meredith.
She told me
Oh.
250,000 or something.
We've budgeted some reserve, or some capital outlay dollars in sewer already. And this will just, we'll change contingencies on what we were gonna use them for, inside sewer.
And you're gonna get an easement. I've talked to Stephen Taylor, and we need an easement there across this lot. I guess,
I think Justin's already done that.
Which
he's
it's already
done
been
very
surveyed.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
He did a survey last week, I believe.
Great.
So I move that we allow Cowan Engineering Group to solicit competitive quotes for the Fern 15 sinkhole construction with additional payment, blah, 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 whatever.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
It's very nutty.
It's a technical term.
Wines,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown, yes.
Gilbeck,
Yes.
O'Leary,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Which part was technical, the blah, 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 or the yada, yada?
Yada, yada.
Okay.
Yada, yada.
Item 12, consider approval of the First Amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding between the Perry Municipal Authority and CHC Management LLC, and authorize the payment to the Universal Survey and Mapping LLC to the amount of $41,537 and designate appropriate funds or account to make payment of $41,537 under terms of contract. Bryce or Larry?
Yeah, we have a non-binding MOU with Jimbo, his LLC. And it's non-binding, but what this amendment does is it goes in there and says, with respect to engineering, we're gonna make that binding. We had agreed to split the cost, and there was a limitation of cost, but this is, yeah, there's the exact number, $41,537. That was our intent, to split that under that non-binding MOU. At this point, if you approve this, then we'll make that one provision binding. In the future, there may be other provisions in that are either amended, or we take them in whole and we make those binding. But this is kind of the first one, and this was something that was discussed with you, and of course, represented by management, and so we believe that this is something appropriate to do. And this actually paying back one half the cost of the engineer that prepared all the preliminary plat and the drainage study and all the specs on installing all the improvements. So we will have a use of a lot of this if this moves forward in the manner in which we have discussed.
And don't forget that Jimbo made our lives a lot easier tonight.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any further discussion?
Well, I just want to say that when I came on the council, I had 3 people on the committee that came to me and talked to me and told me to watch the money. And it seems like we're spending an awful lot of money tonight, and I don't think that I fully understand that we're making this binding. We're binding to more money?
No, at this point, all we're doing is making the provision that was in the MOU, which was non-binding, with respect to splitting the engineering cost. We're just saying that one piece, that we're agreeable to split the engineering cost. Nothing else has been made binding. Just the engineering cost to the tune of $41,537. And I also have an opinion from you that says, which you can stand up and say,
Sure.
that you believe that those costs were,
We've reviewed the cost of the engineering for the entire development, and it's in line with what we would have requested for design of development of this size. So we agree with the cost.
wanted to make sure that you had that so that you knew that that was appropriate.
And Gloria, I want to note that I appreciate your comment.
Well, I just want to be diligent and watching and listen to my constituents, but I want to understand.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I need to know who seconded.
Who seconded it?
I just,
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Colern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 13, consider convening to executive session to, 1, discuss the appraisal and purchase of certain real property related to the Upper Black Bear Watershed Project pursuant to Title 25, Section 307B3 of the Oklahoma statutes as amended. Number 2, discuss a proposal pertaining to economic development of the city of Perry to entice the location of a business to the Perry Commercial Park to create additional jobs and payroll as public disclosure. The proposal will interfere with the development and implementation of the proposal pursuant to 25 OS 307C11 of the Oklahoma statute as amended. And number 3, discuss the appraisal of Block 1 Northwest Perry, known as J.C. Park, pursuant to 25 OS 307B3 of the Oklahoma statute as amended.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Colern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. All right, motion to reconvene.
So moved.
Wise. Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
I knew it was wrong.
Bell,
Here.
Brown,
Bill Best.
Bond.
Yes.
Colburn.
Yes.
Trailer.
Yes. Item 15, taking action deemed necessary pursuant to executive session, including but not limited to anything we talked about. Item 16, any new business? Item 17, motion on adjournment.
So moved.
That was a second too.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wise,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bilbeck.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Colburn.
Yes.
Yes.
4 hours and 47 minutes, you got.